I really appreciated the crowd coming out for the appreciation of Veterans Day on Saturday night. It was a great crowd, and I know it's a tough time to do that, but also to support these players. You look at it, the seniors have 6 practices left that are guaranteed. They've got 2 times to run out of that tunnel left, and about 9 to 10 days here of football left. And obviously they're trying as hard as they can to finish their careers on a positive and try to get to a bowl game. You have to compliment Oklahoma State. I think that's the best Oklahoma State team I've seen. I know it's the best since we've been here offensively. They're just amazing. Quarterback's great. He came from nowhere. A guy threw balls across the field, and he didn't miss. He was so accurate. Had him sacked once, and he still got a ball for about a 30-yard completion. Kendall Hunter's an All-American running back. We've seen 2 great backs 2 weeks in a row. And Blackman is a guy that caught about 12 passes last year, and I don't know where he came from, but he's all of a sudden he's making plays all over the field and has changed what you have to do against him defensively, because he's a guy that can make plays. Our focus obviously has to be on us, because we've still got a lot of things we've got to improve. We can't just talk about the other team, but they did play hard on Saturday night. We didn't make enough big plays to win the game, and they made too many. And I think that's, we forced a few more turnovers. We protected the ball a little better. The kicking game was okay. We made some, we were sound in the kicking game, but we had some kicks that helped us with field position, but we didn't force any turnovers in the kicking game, and we didn't score in the kicking game, and those are things that we've got to continue to try to do. A lot of young guys did play well. Alex Okafor had his best game since he's moved inside. He played great. We're really proud of him. He's making progress there. We put him in a tough spot because we were thin at that tackle position, and he has been positive. He keeps working. He hasn't griped about being in there at all. He's still about 270, 265 to 270, but he's learning to play with his pads down. So next year we can play him outside or inside, and he, like Sam Acho, can give us a lot of ability and a lot of different options with that ability to use what we want. Kenny Vaccaro keeps making plays all over the field. He intercepted a pass Saturday and got his hands on another one. And he's a big hitter, and we have to be careful because we're playing him a lot on special teams, and he's one of the best special teams players we've got. Even on kickoff the other day, Oklahoma State decided to, kickoff return, they decided to double team him because he makes such an impact on even the kicking teams. And Carrington Bynum is really coming through and doing well. After we lost Shockey, and Curtis Brown's been hurt on and off a lot of the year, and I'm looking at Carrington Bynum the other night lining up and covering Blackman one-on-one out there, and knocked the ball loose and did a good job. So Carrington's really getting a lot of people's attention. Young guy on offense that'll be a real star before he finishes is Trey Hopkins. He is playing so well in the offensive line. We played 3 freshmen the other day, and starting in the offensive line, Peyton Kelly's coming and will be a really good player here. Mason Walters played his best game Saturday night. So it was tough for Garrett and the offense, some of those young guys out there, but we thought they hung in there and tried to fight pretty well. And of course, Mike Davis continues to get better each week. He's going to have a great career at Texas. In fact, I think he broke our freshman receiving record the other night, and that's after missing 2.5 games. On the injury front, we've got a lot of guys that are playing banged up and hurt. You just look at Emmanuel Acho. He's fought through a sore knee all year, and poor Keenan Robinson's been banged up a lot. But a lot of the guys are playing with minor injuries that obviously they have been released by the medical staff to play. But the way we've struggled, you would think some of them might be ducking out and not stepping up and playing, and I don't see that at all. Thought the kids had a great attitude Saturday night. They fought from behind when they were in trouble some, and after the game they want to get better, and they're still working hard to do that. Jackson Jeffcoat did not play Saturday night again, but he does think, in talking to the trainers, that he's made some progress over the weekend. So hopefully he will get to practice some this week. So we do think that we'll watch, but we think Kyle Hicks has a chance to play this weekend. I know Michael Huey's doing better. He was walking around yesterday, but they do not think he will play this weekend. But they also feel like they'll watch Greg Timmons, and hopefully he'll be through with his sickness and have a chance to practice this week so he can get back. We'll have to monitor Fozzie for his stinger throughout the week. He came out in the first half. We tried to put him back in once, and he got it hit again. So Cody Johnson had to carry the load on Saturday night. Trey Newton, he, his family, and the doctors have decided he's through with football. so he will not play anymore. And Trey will be over this morning to sit and talk to you about it. It is obviously for medical reasons, but because of the sensitivity of releasing individual medical records of kids and HIPAA, we thought it would be better for Trey to come up. He's had a great career at Texas. He's a great young man. He's a super student. He's never been in my office for anything but positives. He will stay with our team. I think he's got another year to graduate. We'll try to help him. He'll work with these young running backs to try to help them get back on track, and some of them will need to play early next year because of the lack of numbers at that position right now. But he's a guy that Texas fans should applaud and appreciate because he's done everything we've asked him to do. He's helped us win ball games, and he's a young guy who has a great future ahead of him. So we're disappointed that we won't have Trey on the field anymore, but he can still, again, thank you for all the things you've done for us, Trey. You've earned your scholarship, and you can still do a lot on that sideline with the kids to try to help them. Cody would start today, Cody Johnson at tailback if we were playing today. The game with Florida Atlantic is very important for us to finish positive. Still have a chance to get to a bowl game. I appreciate the fans thanking these seniors, but also we're trying to keep these young guys motivated that are playing as well. Most everybody on this team will be back next year. We're adding a top-notch recruiting class to this group, and we feel like that by finishing strong, that'll give us more momentum going into the off-season, finish recruiting strong, and have a great spring practice, and next year get back to the standard that we expect at the University of Texas. This class has been the best academic class in the history of Texas football. They've done everything right off the field. Obviously, we're disappointed on the field, but we have to thank them for all the great moments they've given us and appreciate the young ones for the moments that they have ahead. Howard Snellenberger is a great coach. Obviously, we've all looked at him from Louisville to Miami to Louisville to the NFL for all he's done, and then even at Oklahoma. So our fans are very aware of him. I don't think Coach has changed much. It's still the pro-style two-back offense. Their offensive coordinator left from when we played them a number of years ago, and Darrell Jackson, who was the receiver coach at that time, is now the offensive coordinator. They're going to be balanced between run and pass, and a lot of the guys that played against us as younger players will play. Jeff Van Camp, the quarterback, played the last half against us, or some of it. He was a great player. Gene Lester's a great player at receiver. He's got 46 receptions. A tight end, Rob Hausler from San Antonio, is a pro prospect. He's got 31 catches at 6'5", 230. I was talking to Dwayne about him. He's from Judson, and we looked at him, and at that time he was a 200-pound thin little guy that now is at 230 and playing really, really well. So he'll be a pro prospect and a very good player coming back home. Unlike us, Florida Atlantic has won their last 3 games, and they'll be coming in with a lot of hope that they can beat the Longhorns. Defensively, they're a 4-down defense. They've got had only 17 snaps of 3 down, and that's basically blitz. They're tough, like Coach Snellenberger. They're sound. They're well coached. They only blitz about 16% of the time, and they've got 7 seniors starting on defense. Questions?
Coach,
Why don't you start, Ed?
thank you, Coach. With 2 games,
Some things don't change.
with 2 games sandwiched so close together, is there a temptation to start looking at A&M, or is that off the board? You wait until the final gun and pick them up Sunday and just work extra hard?
Ed, and at times in our past, maybe. Right now, we can't look at anything except getting better. And we asked the kids to make sure they committed for 12 days on Saturday night. Now it's more like 10, 9, to give the best effort they possibly can because our fans are hanging in there and they're being supportive, and we want the kids to keep fighting. We said you can not have the season you want, but you can't ever quit. If you quit, what an awful message to you and the rest of your life, and I don't see them doing that. I thought they were great in the meeting yesterday. They understand that Oklahoma State was a great team, and we did play better. And we'd have won a lot of other games if we'd have played as good as we did even at times Saturday night. So they understand who we are and what we've got to get accomplished, and I've been really impressed with these kids. They've handled a very, very difficult situation about as well as you could handle it, I think, since Iowa State.
Do you get a sense that the whole team really wants to go to a bowl game and not just the seniors?
Oh, there's no question. I mean, this would be the first time in our 13 years we haven't been, and they don't want to be the team not to go. But that's why I think they'll keep fighting and fight hard, and they know that they can't go to a bowl without Saturday. So if they get Saturday, and they've got to play well to do that, because it's hard to get it flipped when it's not going well, and they're fighting and continuing to try, and then they know they've got another chance to get that fixed as well with a short week.
Mack, can you put in perspective all the struggles and then news like this about Trey, a kid who grew up around football, what it meant to him and his family? Must be pretty sobering for you and your team to realize his career now is over.
It is. Nate and Mom came down and talked to our doctors on Saturday at noon, and obviously they're disappointed, but the health of the young man is much more important than a football game, and no one other than Nate and Mom would understand that better, because Nate's seen a lot of injuries in football that carry over after you get through. But I think the same time is that what our team and staff are having to deal with right now is we've been able to deal with the highs of college football for 12 years. And that's all we've dealt with. Now we're dealing with the tough times, the lows, and you got to be able to handle those too. You can't just keep your head up when you're out front, and Blaine Irby's injury that cost him a chance to play. Obviously, Trey, I remember looking at Tony Hills break his leg at Texas Tech when he was getting ready for the draft. I remember Cedric Benson, he had the knee injury. It wasn't awful, but he hyperextended his knee the first play of the Michigan game in the Rose Bowl, and here I was thinking he shouldn't continue to play. Doctors told him that you've hyperextended your knee, and here's a first-round draft choice that goes out there and plays and fights and competes. So guys want to play, and it's really important to them to play. And the message I want to give from Trey's standpoint, because it'll be harder for him to give it for you today, is that he wants to play. He didn't decide not to play. This is a medical decision where he really doesn't have a choice to continue. So he will be very disappointed, but we also felt like that it's important for y'all to hear that from him, since we're limited on what we can say. And now, modern day football, there's so many rumors out there, we thought it would be better for him to tell you the facts instead of letting everybody decide what the facts were.
Will he stay on, or
Yes.
will he be a part of it?
Yes. He will, he'll stay on scholarship. He will obviously apply for a medical and get it. And what we do want is we've got some good young running backs that are here and some coming, and we'll want him to help us coach them. Vondrell has helped in that area this year. He stepped up and helped the young ones and been out at practice a lot, and we think Trey can add a whole lot to us. Trey's also a great student, so I'm sure that Brian Davis can use him some with the young ones in the academic center as well.
Mack, I know you've had some ups and downs in your entire career, coaching for so long. But after '98, when you lost those 2 games early on, then you went on the great run of winning on 8 out of 9 to finish the season. Did you ever have any idea, did you ever have any bad dreams that something like this would happen the way?
I think the answer would be no, but being practical in coaching, you look around. I mean, it happens all the time. This is not something that's going to last. I mean, to my estimation, we should have won 3 or 4 more games than we have. It should have been about 7-3 right now, and instead of 4-6, and that's on us as coaches, and I really believe that. And it's funny, people want you to say it's on you, and then they get mad and say, well, why didn't you do something about it? So that's our job. Our jobs are coaches. And what's really confusing is this same coaching staff the last 2 years has had a chance to play for a national championship and played for one. So they're good coaches. Like I've said, they're good people. They're really trying. And they're not happy. They're not happy that Texas isn't winning. It's not fair to our fans. It's not fair to our administration. We understand that. And you get more grief when you lose than you get credit when you win. That's just part of the deal. That's not going to change. And that's fair. And our guys understand that. I'm proud of our staff. They understand where it is. They understand it's not good, and that that's not good for Texas, and it's not what we should have here. They're like me. We're all constantly looking at trying to figure out why and what we could have done to stop it. But what we can do to fix it is more important than what's happened. And I think that's the thing that matters. Like I said, some people have asked me, are your coaches still recruiting? Well, yeah, we recruit. I email every kid every week. Our coaches call every kid every week. We're working our tails off to try to make sure that we get back on track next year.
Can you speak about the emotional toll it can take on you during the course of a season like this, when you have to be as positive as you have to be, lift people up, and how personally you're taking this season? Yeah,
it's really tiring during a season when you win. So losing's awful. I mean, at the end of the season, coaches usually get sick because after they didn't have a chance to get sick during the season. In fact, knock on wood, I've never missed a practice because of sickness in 37 years, because you just don't. I've been sick, but I've never missed a practice. That's what gets me a little bit when the trainer will come and say, player's got a headache. I'd say, yeah, me too. You know, he's tired. Well, he's got a little virus. Well, me too. So, but I do think that there's no question that it makes you want to fight to get it fixed and get it fixed fast. And I want to see those kids happy in the dressing room again. I hadn't seen that in a while, and that's my job. And when you're responsible for something, you're not as happy. You're not as fulfilled as when it's working well. So you want to get it fixed, and that's our drive right now.
Mack, you talk about trying to figure out why this has happened. Do you think it's going to take y'all getting out of the season, getting just a couple weeks away to kind of look back and start trying to? I mean,
no, I think we've got. I asked for input from the coaches to see what they think. Not as much about. I'm not like you guys. I don't go back and bash all the possible things that could have been wrong over the last 13 years that would have led to this game. But trying to figure out exactly what's good and what's not good, and if it's not good, instead of trying to figure out how it got that way, you really need to figure out how to fix it. Everything is about fixing it and moving forward instead of blame. It doesn't do any good to sit around and blame. The only reason you would look back is to see if something happened that you could have changed. Can you make sure that doesn't happen again? I think, and that's what you try to do. As I said, there are a lot of positive things going on with the program. Everybody cares about the academics and the graduation rate when you're winning. Nobody's asked me this year. It's not as important. Everybody wants your kids to stay out of trouble and act right. Well, I knock on wood, these kids have done everything we've asked them to do. We haven't had anybody miss meetings. We've had everybody fight. So none of the normal problems you would think that would come with a season like this have propped up with us. I mean, I'm really proud of those kids, and I'm proud of what they're doing. And by and large, I've made a statement that there was twice I didn't think we played as hard as we needed to or with much passion. The rest of it we have. I thought the kids have tried. So obviously we've got to keep doing everything we can to try to figure out how to win 2 games. And then you basically can start over. And that's what I've told the kids. Hang in there for 2 weeks. Let's do everything we can do as a group in this room to win 2 games. And then after that, it'll be my job to look at the whole picture. But until we do that, it's about winning Saturday.
How ready are you to get a win and just see your kids happy?
That's the most important thing to me. I want to see the kids happy in that dressing room. They've worked too hard. This group of kids has worked like the rest of ours. It's a shame that they haven't been able to reap the same benefits. And there's, I'm so proud of the seniors. Everybody beats them up. And there aren't many of them. I think I looked up and saw 6 playing much on Saturday at all. 3 on each side of the ball, and but it's not their fault, their responsibility, and they're trying hard. I've seen those seniors give speeches and scream and shout and push and shove, and so it's I think again the responsibility is mine. It's not on those individual kids, but I'd like to see them happy.
okay. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.